And now ABC News 24 is streamed live all day, every day. That's at our website, and that's at abc.net.au/news. You can always also find the live stream on YouTube and Facebook now as well, so check it out. Still to come here on Afternoon Live, 3 days into 2013. Are you still keeping your New Year's resolutions? We'll discuss the psychology around the practice with clinical psychologist Sally Ann McCormack. Third day of 2013, and for many of those resolutions made in the new year, they've already been broken. Others are more determined, of course, but for how long can it last? We've been asking what your New Year resolution was on social media, Twitter and Facebook, and whether you've kept it, and we'll look at some of those comments shortly. But first, let's bring in clinical psychologist Sally Ann McCormack, who's in our Melbourne studio. Sally Ann, thanks very much for talking to us about this subject. Is it a silly preoccupation with New Year's resolutions? Are we just setting ourselves up to fail each year?
I don't think it's silly. I think it's a great opportunity to reflect on the year that's been and to actually think about the things that we probably need to think about and change in the future. All the things that that we can improve on, particularly giving up cigarettes perhaps, or doing more exercise, or some of the more positive things.
Well, we call them New Year's resolutions, of course, but people are making resolutions all the time on a daily basis. Really, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to give up smoking, I'm going to save more money, be a nicer human being. But of course, they don't get quite as much attention as the ones that are made on New Year's Eve.
No, they don't for some reason. And I think it's a real shame that we don't actually take more opportunities to try and come up with these resolutions. One of my daughters actually has on her phone, on her smartphone, a little trigger every day actually to eat healthy. It's just a little alarm. I think that if we reminded ourselves a little bit more than once a year, I think that we'd be more likely to be successful in our endeavours.
Well, generally speaking, is the key to a successful life being goal-oriented?
Look, I think for many of us it is, at least the goal of being happy. It doesn't have to be necessarily a goal of, more money or, doing something in particular, but really to spend each day doing something valuable for ourselves and others as well. I think that's a great idea to have that goal. Okay,
we're just showing some tweets that are appearing on the screen now from people who have been responding to our question earlier today about how they're faring with their New Year's resolutions. And on Facebook too, our Facebook page has attracted some comments such as Shail Akils, who resolved not to punish himself with resolutions, and so far everything seems to be going according to plan. So,
good on him.
Yeah. Another respondent, Sophie Vayler, said she started yoga every morning and on a vegetarian diet. So far, so good. Another one, Bo Raymond, said he'd eat more and exercise less because he thought he'd pick a realistic goal. Now, comedy aside, I guess, how important is it to set oneself realistic goals when somebody wants to set about changing their life?
Look, it is really important. Make them realistic and achievable. If it's something like, lose 20 kilos in the next 10 days, you're not going to get there. You're going to get stressed. You're going to be angry at yourself. And in fact, it's just going to fail. And you're going to, that's going to kill your self-esteem as well. So start with something small. Just make a small start to your day, whatever your goal may be. And perhaps, I think another idea might be just, every week or every month, just have another little reflection on, am I going the places that I want to go, figuratively or physically? Am I achieving what I want to achieve? Make them small and celebrate the wins. Don't just say, look, I had chocolate today, or I, had a cigarette today, I failed. Actually say something to yourself like, well, I didn't have as much chocolate as I usually have, or I only had one cigarette and not 20, or, so really celebrate the wins, because that's more likely to help you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve and to keep you going.
But is there a need, though, for people, just seriously now for a moment, to develop an acceptance of the person that they are rather than constantly wishing to be something that they're not?
I think that's true. The only exception I'll say to that is probably to live healthy and to be, respectful and helpful to others. I think that there's that. Sometimes if we haven't been the best person, or have, just been eating junk food every day, for breakfast, lunch and dinners, then maybe it is a perfect opportunity to, reflect and to change the things that we're doing. But apart from that, don't change the actual person that you are, but maybe change some of the poor habits that you may have developed over time.
Okay, Sally Ann McCormack, thanks very much for coming in and giving us a rundown on how to stick to those New Year's resolutions.
Pleasure.